No basis for Brexit deal. Boris Johnson is getting ready to decision an emergency Saturday sitting of Parliament following next week's crucial EU summit. Ahead of next week's crucial EU summit, adult male Barnier saying that they had however to envision any operational, wrongfully binding solution to the problem of the Northern Ireland backstop. Addressing the AQ Parliament in national capital, he saying Boris Johnson's proposals to avoid the come of a tough border with Land Republic were supported a system that hasn't been properly developed, that hasn't been tested. Mr. Johnson's hopes of securing a deal in time for the summit on October 17 and 18 might currently rest on a crunch meeting with Irish Prime Minister Leo Varadkar. The two men can hold what was delineate as a private meeting on at a location within the northwest of European country to permit detailed discussions with their groups on the method for securing a deal. Earlier, government sources saying that adult male Johnson was designing an emergency Saturday sitting of Parliament following the summit to be continued October 19. It is thought the Prime Minister might use the occasion to force a face-off with MPs determined to dam a no-deal Brexit. In his address to MEPs, adult male Barnier saying the EU facet would still add a calm and constructive manner to search out an agreement. But he created clear that adult male Johnson's blueprint, which might need the come of customs checks on the island of Era, wasn't the premise for an answer. To place things terribly candidly, though, and to do and be objective, at this specific purpose, we have a tendency to aren't extremely, in an exceedingly, in a very position wherever we have a tendency to square measure ready to notice an agreement, he said. The proposal of land government as things stand isn't one thing we are able to settle for. It replaces an operational, practical, legal resolution with one that's merely a brief resolution. Following a series of bitter exchanges between London and national capital on weekday, European Commission President Jean-Claude Juncker told the Parliament that they'd not get drawn into a blame game. Personally, I don't exclude a deal. We are, Michel and myself, functioning on a deal, and that we aren't acceptive this blame game that started in London, he said. We can see within the next coming back days however things can develop. Mr. Barnier's beat assessment was echoed by adult male Varadkar, United Nations agency same adult male Johnson's insistence that Northern Ireland should leave the Union with the remainder of the United Kingdom remained an obstacle to progress. That's their position at the instant, and that's one that's a good issue for United States, he told Land Parliament. As so much because the Irish government worries, we have a tendency to desire a deal, we're willing to figure laborious to urge a deal, to figure till the last moment to urge a deal, however under no circumstances at any price. If adult male Johnson is unable to urge an agreement, he can face a joint push for MPs to adjust to the questionable Ben Act, requiring him to hunt an additional Brexit delay from national capital, one thing he has vowed to not do. The prospects of an agreement were hanging within the balance once Andrew Jackson Downing Street defended the EU on weekday of creating it essentially impossible for the United Kingdom to depart with a deal. Following a heated call between adult male Johnson and Angela Merkel, no 10 sources saying the German Chancellor had created clear that a deal was overwhelmingly unlikely. Mrs. Merkel's spokesperson hit back on weekday, demand she would work until the last doable point to secure an orderly British withdrawal. The spokesperson saying that she continuing to take a no-deal Brexit as the worst state of affairs for all concerned. Meanwhile, there was suspicion among some MPs over adult male Johnson's plans for an emergency Saturday sitting of Parliament, one thing that has solely happened fourfold within the past 80 years. Previous occasions have enclosed the occurrence of the Second War in 1939, the city crisis in 1956 and therefore the invasion of the Falklands in 1982. Former professional General Domingo de Guzman Grieve questioned why they may not wait till the Mon, and expressed concern they were being manipulated for propaganda functions. Downing Street has become an information department spewing out lies, he told BBC Radio 4 The Globe at 1. So first off, it's deeply corrosive of trust, and second, you are have the impression that you're being manipulated and it's terribly dangerous activity. However, Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn saying it might be a chance for Parliament to demand the Prime Minister complies with the Ben Act. Mr. Johnson has repeatedly saying that whereas he can abide by the law, he are taking the United Kingdom out of the EU on October 31, with or while not a deal. Speaking throughout a visit to a turbine facility in Southampton, adult male Corbyn said, "The concept that the Prime Minister can break the law once more are some things that must be borne in mind here.